fighting friend.
I do a better job this time.
Okay, I'll do a better job. We got Jungle Joe Walsh.
Yes, sir.
We got the choke dealer, Mike Stewart. And I'm Dallas. And this is Rising Tide Moco, the Rising Tide recap here in Rockville, Maryland. Episode 3. And we're going to be covering MMA, fighting, dating, lifestyles, family, whatever. Anything goes. Anything goes, Mike. So keep it a little PG. You can touch the rated R. You too, Joe. But this is how we talk day to day, guys. So me and Joe,
this is real. We're not always like so filtered, and you know, we want you guys to be able to get to know us, feel comfortable when you're around us. So yeah, we'll get right into it. We've been talking about some stuff earlier. I was actually getting ready to ask Mike, you know, what prompted him into becoming a mentor. I've always heard good stories from Dallas and Liam about both of them, or about Mike, about you, obviously. So, you know, I mentioned earlier, I have an older brother. He's 47 years old, and between the ages of like 10 and 15, or like 8 and 15, he would tell me and my sister, I never want to have kids. You know, you guys suck. Now he's got 2 kids, and one of them actually comes in and trains with us every Saturday.
Yeah.
My little nephew. So, you know, I get it. I was a little asshole, and I was asking Mike. I said, "You're not a dad to them. You know, you're more like an older brother. You're a mentor, and you know, you've dealt with your stuff. Now you're seeing Dallas and Liam deal with their stuff where you were at that age. You know, some years back. So what was early life like for you? You know, around your teenage years, and then just kind of going forward from there. Like, what you got? You know, getting into martial arts and everything."
Yeah, well, I will say that luckily, Dallas and Liam are both a lot more like mature and like have a better grasp on life than I did. How old are you?
Dude, I just turned 30.
Okay, yeah.
29.
So,
Yeah, we're both.
you know, they're definitely ahead of where I was developmentally, both with martial arts and just their personal development. And yeah, we were talking before, you know, I was definitely a knucklehead when I was a teenager and into my early 20s. I worked at another martial arts school. I started martial arts when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I started in Taekwondo, local community center, got my black belt in Taekwondo, and then I went to a buddy's house one day when we were in 8th or 9th grade, and he had wrestled his whole life, and he was like, "Hey, aren't you a black belt? Don't you think you're tough?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So we put boxing gloves on, and just with basic boxing and basic wrestling, he just like ragdolled me. And he was like, you're kind of a punk, like you need to learn how to fight, like this black belt's not that great. And I started wrestling with him. And then I started working at I actually taught at a ninjutsu school from the time I was 15, 16 until I was like 20, I don't know, 22, 23. I took a hiatus for like 2 years, and during that time, I was goofing off pretty bad. Like, I was making a lot of bad decisions. I was partying a lot. Got my car repoed, had like negative account balance sometimes. Getting into fights, just doing dumb shit. And like started gaining weight, and just started seeing my life take this direction that I knew that if I kept going with it, that I was gonna have big problems. So I started doing jiu-jitsu again. I actually took my first jiu-jitsu class in 2005 with Master Yamasaki. It was after the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. And I was one of those guys that comes in once or twice a week, you know, athletic and stuff like that, but not really taking it seriously. And when I really got serious with it was about 2009. And that's when I opened the school. Like, I opened my school as a white belt.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
That's wild.
It was a white belt in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, I got a lot of shit for that. But I would bring in other brown belts, and eventually those brown belts turned into black belts, and I would just, you know, I've always loved jiu-jitsu and martial arts, and always knew that it was what I wanted to do early on. It took me some time to find my direction.
So this was always something that was always going to be in your life.
100%. Like, maybe, and you know, it's interesting because everyone talks how they wish they would have started younger and whatnot, but I'm so glad that I took the trajectory that I did, because I appreciate it so much now. And I think sometimes if you get really serious with a sport when you're young, the the purpose behind it kind of gets lost on you.
felt that
You're
way
not mature enough to understand how much value you're getting out of it. So I was lucky enough to find a little bit later in life at a time where it was really like a necessity for me. Like, you got to do this. It's either, dude. I decided I had visions of opening my own school, my own ninjutsu school. They had promised me, you're gonna, swear to God, they promised me you're gonna open your own school, and they were what I would consider successful at the time. And it's just interesting. It's always like I talk about reframing. Like, anytime there's an opportunity, I was very bummed out that they kept kind of like dangling that carrot in front of me and saying, okay, next year we're gonna help you open your own school. And then I would see another person get their own school, and I'm like, dude, like, they're gonna do this to me forever. So I was really glad that I quit. They told me it was like one of the worst decisions I was ever gonna make, because I bypassed going to college and everything. Not that I think I would have like done that great in school, but I early on knew that I wanted to like do my own thing, not work for other people, and kind of develop my own game. So it was a good thing that they treated me poorly and took advantage of me, and that I ultimately quit and found jiu-jitsu and just did it on my own. So
Yeah, isn't that something? It's like, I felt the same way. I started all this at 24, and like, I'm like, man, I wish I'd have done it earlier on, but I see so many people who get burned out by it, where like, by the time they're my age, after like 8 years of it, 10 years of it, they don't have the desire anymore.
yeah, and you got to think like in high school, like being a martial artist, it's getting there, but it's still not like the cool thing.
It's not
to
as
do.
taboo as it was. I mean, people. Same thing with golf. Golf's gone a long way. Like, golf wasn't cool for a long time, and now it's like you play golf, you're like that guy. And if you're good at golf, you're really that guy.
But like,
and
what
I feel
I'm
the same thing with martial arts.
Yeah, like even being on the wrestling team in high school, like being on the basketball team was cooler,
Way
or the
cooler.
football team or soccer team even. And now I see this. I really believe that we're on the edge of like a new renaissance of martial arts, where it's going to be like one of the biggest things. With all the work they're doing in all these big promotions and UFC Fight Pass and the CJI and it becoming more mainstream. You know, people know who Gordon Ryan is now. Like, they might not know anything about jiu-jitsu, but people know who Gordon is. People know who Craig is. Even people that don't even watch MMA that much are aware of who these guys are. You did not see that 10, 15 years ago. You ask someone who Marcelo Garcia is, they have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, you're gonna play a sport where you chase a ball around and try to poke it through a hole. You know?
I mean, I do think that there is.
Team sports are good, but this is self-development.
It's a completely different objective.
I love team sports, but it's like,
And you were good at baseball, right?
I was good at every type of ball. And,
Not me.
Yeah, and
I sucked.
but like, dude, it at the end of the day, you're like waiting around on a field for a ball that you're chasing around, and it's like, all right, if you're chasing things in life, I find that similarity, but like, jiu-jitsu is like, all right, it's just me. There's zero excuses I can make for myself. Like, everything else is like, the world's affecting you. Now it's just me.
Yeah, I love that part of it, but the world, you do have to work on a team with other people.
You're right.
And you have to learn how to do that. Like, I hear where you're coming from, because especially being a young school owner trying to convince parents, like, yo, like, there's more to this than just playing ball and stuff like that. However, as my kids are 12 and 13 now, about to be 14, and they love soccer, dude. They're very good at it. And I really encourage it, you know? And I've really tried to be careful. Of course, I think that combat sports and jiu-jitsu have far more to offer, dude. Far more. Like, it's on a way deeper level that you're learning personal development.
Yeah.
But there are times in life where you have to depend on other people. You have to motivate others. You have to accept the team lost. Us as a business or a group, we have to accept the L together. And it teaches you how to delegate, and it teaches you how to accept responsibility that might not even be yours. So I do think there's value to the team sports. You know, I've seen it, and dude, honestly, at the end of the day, with the new generation of kids, anything where they're outside running around and they're interacting with other kids and they have sunshine in their face is better than screen sucking and just scrolling and eating unhealthy food and stuff like that. So the culture of team sports can be, you know, dude, like, especially for me, like, seeing some of these parents and the way that they talk and the coaches and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, this is like a 12-year-old, like, this isn't even high school.
And then that's
why is everyone so excited?
Well, that's why they end up hating the sport later on, because they got too much pressure as a kid. It's like, dude, just let a kid swing a bat.
This is why they need fighting, because it's like, yeah, you're pent up, dude. I would like get in fist fights on the football field, on the baseball field all the time. Like, I needed jiu-jitsu as a kid just to be the outlet. Yeah. Like, man, if I had that as a kid, I think my other sports, I would have been way better.
Yeah, and that's how I think we need to promote it to the public, is as a supplement to what they're already doing and not a replacement. Because people love soccer, dude. People love football. And you can't, it would be like someone telling you, jiu-jitsu sucks, you need to do just weightlifting. You're going to be like, yeah, man, no, it doesn't. Like, not to you, it doesn't. So I've really adjusted my approach with that. Like, hey, you know, especially with other kids wanting to do, like, you know, trying wrestling for the season. And I encourage it highly. You know, yeah, take some time off from jiu-jitsu, go wrestle, come back. You know, if you want to, come one day a week during wrestling season, I think that's good. And you know, also highly competitive kids, it's good for them to do a team sport and see, like, yeah, dude, like, it's not that fun when your other teammates aren't trying, is it? And you're doing your best every game. Yeah. And the outcome is dependent on all these other factors, where you kind of like it when you come in here, right? And it's like, it's just you out there. And like Dallas was saying, there's no real, you can blame your coach, you can blame your sleep the night before, but I always tell people, that's for you, man. Like, those excuses aren't for me, man. They're for you to look at yourself and justify why you didn't do good. So, yeah, there's so much value to what we do, but I would caution everyone not to shit on other sports and other people. If it's cool to them, like, dude, I got a buddy that quit jiu-jitsu to do pickleball. It's not my thing. You know what I mean? I don't see it, but he loves it. And again, it's keeping his weight off. He's outside he's doing something social with other people.
Yeah, bro,
I can't hate on that.
Have you played spike ball?
No. I like spike ball.
I watched him I know you're watching it over on BT.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been playing that.
Yeah, that's like the net, right?
Yeah, in the sand for years.
Yeah.
That game will get you sweating faster than any other sport, I feel like.
Yeah. And as long as people are doing that, you know, I will always maintain that jiu-jitsu is the most powerful vehicle for self-development that there is in the world, hands down. It's helped enrich my life so much, and in turn it's helped me enrich the life of others so much. I just see it doing more for people than even other combat sports. Like, of course you can get it from Muay Thai, and you can get it from wrestling and boxing and MMA and stuff like that. Something about jiu-jitsu, bro. Something about the way it changes the way you think. Which is just applicable to everything. You know, the mindset in a lot of these other combat sports are necessary to win, like crushing, going forward,
you gotta hurt someone,
eliminating your opponent, being aggressive. But that ain't the answer to a lot of things in life. You know.
Well, so that's like going back to the original mentor question. Like, jiu-jitsu provides so much to young adults because they can see people like us in here, where we cook our own food, we have healthy diets, we have healthy relationships with people. Dallas and I write in journals every day. We're learning how to write. We're learning how to write properly. That's going to take care of us when we get to the business world, if that's where you want to be. You know how to keep your weight in balance, so you don't have to depend on, the government for health, care and stuff. So, like, I feel like jiu-jitsu goes a lot further when you have good people around you.
Yeah, and the you just said it, like, the culture of jiu-jitsu and the expectations from your teammates and your coaches are what makes it work. If you're in a good gym.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty, like, I have a pretty close relationship with most of my students, even though we have a lot of students, and there's some newer people I'm still getting to know, but especially the guys that have been around for a while, I hold them pretty damn accountable. If I see someone starting to gain a little bit too much weight, or, friends with a lot of these guys on Instagram, they're going out and they're partying too much. Look, I'm not here to judge anybody, but I try to keep them within the rails a little bit and just ask them, hey man, is this really what you want? Is this making you feel better? Is this helping your rounds,
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy, he was getting really, really good, and he was giving me some trouble when we'd roll. And then he just started, goofing off a little bit too much. And the next couple weeks we'd roll, he was just like soft, like mush, and he was gassing real easy. And I was like, dude, you've been partying a little bit too much, man. Like, I can feel it. I can feel your strength getting sapped from your body during these rounds. Whereas before, you were pushing through these scrambles and you're doing much better, you're performing much better. Like, it's cool, dude. Do whatever you want. But I'm just telling you that if you dedicate a little bit more time to training, not telling you don't go out at all, but like, I think you really need to limit it and take a hard look in the mirror tonight when you get home and see, like, is this who you want to be as, like, an athlete, a future coach? Like, eventually you're going to get introduced to the best version of yourself. I think that probably happens when you die. There's like a moment of like, damn, this is who you could have been. And if you can at least be like similar to that level and they look at you and they like don't recognize you, it's like, dude, who are you? Then you failed. So you'll never be eye to eye, but at least you should be like shoulder level.
How much better is it though when you look back on it and you're like, yeah, like I've surpassed I've surpassed what I thought I'd be at 30. And my ideas and expectations for things have changed, and this has been one of the reasons for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when I don't know, if you see yourself getting better, like you said, you find the best version of yourself, and it's like, man, it's such a good feeling. Even like, you know, we were talking about some of the other things like, you know, weed and mushrooms. It's like at a certain point, you don't need to have your brain altered because you've already reached such a good level. It's like, why do I need to keep drinking? Why do I need to keep doing this and that? And it's like, I feel great right now. Even in the shittiest moments, it's like we can get through it because we've conquered so much in here, you know, and just losses, how you lose, getting bones broken or you know anything. It just teaches you so much. And for me, the mentorship with a good coach and a good gym and also self-discipline can take you so much further. Like you can have the confidence to go get any job. You have the confidence to go get any girl, and it definitely brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
Which is cool, like seeing so, and then it's unfortunate seeing the people who had so much potential and kind of just toss it to the wayside. Or it's like, man, I wish you were in here more because you were a good training partner for me. You made me better.
Yeah, but they can't see that.
No.
You know, you can't make anyone see that, you know? And yeah, you get to a certain level with it too. I'll share this with you guys because this really helped me, you know? My goal when I first started was to prove everyone that they were wrong about me. Because when I first opened the school, people were like, dude, this guy has like his own business? Like, that guy's like a total fucking fuck up. Can I say that?
Yeah.
All right. And a lot of people, I had people laugh at it, you know? So it was just about, man, I gotta prove these fools wrong, you know? But that's such a shallow goal, because then when I did, and I like got to that peak, it was like, I looked down from that peak and I was like, that was too easy. And why was that? This really what I wanted to prove these, like, I don't wanna hurt anyone's feelings, but just call it what it is. Like, these people are kind of losers, you know? Like, they don't have lives that I would envy at all. So I'm trying to prove them wrong. Like,
right?
How about trying to prove it to yourself that you can be greater than your original belief in yourself. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna prove that I can, you know, just provide for my family, have nice things, go on nice vacations, build my own house. And then you sit at the top of that and it's like, man, it still doesn't feel good enough.
Because who's it for?
And that's what it's about. Why are you doing it? It's got to be for others. You know, it has to be, okay, I'm building all this, but not just so I can look at all these things that I have, you know. It is rad traveling and building memories, you know. I'd much rather spend money on things like that. But there's a greater reward to seeing someone, especially someone that struggled with addiction, weight loss, depression, suicide, bullying, whatever it is. Yeah, like dudes going through like hard stuff with their families getting split up or whatever, and giving them, because you invested so much in yourself, you're able to articulate it in a way that literally changes lives, you know? And then this person becomes a better version of themselves, and then they're able to help other members of the team, and that's the whole principle behind Rising Tide. But it starts on the inside, you know? And you know, I was like seeing something the other day, people talking about like, I need self-care. It's like, well, yeah, you do, you know, and I really believe in self-care and, you know, taking care of your body and your mind and stuff like that. But like, if you're feeling sad, the best way to feel better about yourself is to do something for somebody else. And we kind of get to do that every day. It's a nice, this career checks a lot of boxes, man.
You know why? It takes your focus off yourself.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, all right, my life is so shitty. Like, oh, this person has a shitty life too, but here, I'm gonna help them real quick, and then I forget about how shitty my life is for a moment.
Yeah.
It feels good to help other people.
Yeah, and none of our lives are shitty, dude.
No.
There's like so I'm having a bad day. It's like, dude, you can say it was a challenge. Don't ever tell me you're having a bad day. You know, unless you got in like a car accident and like someone died. That's okay. That's a bad day. You know, your dog dies, whatever. Someone you care about, something happens. That's okay. That is bad. You know, let's not sugarcoat it. But if like yesterday I had a pain in the ass with the county inspectors in Carroll County, dude, and it was like really frustrating. They've been giving it to me, bro. I had enough. But that's just a challenge, dude. It's not a bad day. It's a challenging day. And then I completely missed class yesterday because there was a bad accident on 695. I'm in traffic for like an hour and a half, dude, which I hate. That's just a challenge, bro. It's not that. People let little shit like that derail their entire week.
Ruin the whole
the
day.
county inspector does. I'm in traffic. Luckily, we have this like release valve of jiu-jitsu. And I was like, yeah, this is all tough stuff that I'll get through. And eventually, like, what am I going to do, quit?
Can you imagine people doing that every day, though? Driving,
Every day, bro.
Driving that.
I was
Every
driving
day.
4 hours every day. I just quit my job 2 weeks ago. It was killing me.
Yeah.
I was driving to
Dude,
the
Joe
Capitol
was
for
working
Germany.
downtown D.C. What building?
I was working right across from the Capitol. And I love the job, but driving from Germantown to there every day, worst drivers in D.C., by the way. And it drove me up a wall, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, and it's just your.
And that shouldn't make my day. Traffic shouldn't be like there's real shit going on in this world. There's bombings.
Dude, people get so pissed.
But
at
there's
traffic.
like bombings in other countries. There's people getting killed, and you know, just bullshit stuff. And I'm sitting in a car, and I'm getting upset about being in a car. It's like my life's good. But
Dude.
yeah, that driving it changed.
Yeah, and then it's okay. It's okay to look at your life and be like, yeah, my life's good. And I think there's almost like a bit of, I don't know,
Entitlement
I
that
see
we
it.
have.
It is. Yeah, man.
It's that, but also what I was gonna say is that, and I noticed this especially from your guys' generation. It's like wanting a better life is like somehow bad or like selfish. Do you guys ever feel like that from your peers?
Well,
I hear a lot of like younger people like, well, you know, we have it so good here. We need to help. Okay, bro. Like, look, you're talking about the bombings in other countries, like in, you know, all these ancillary topics that we're honestly don't have the capacity to even like do anything or care about. I just choose to spend my time on personal development as much as I can and not really worry about that stuff because there's nothing that I can do to change the outcome of it. And I don't know. I just feel like maybe I'm just like getting old, and I'm like, man.
I don't listen
Young
to the news.
whippersnappers.
I don't listen to the news. I don't watch the news. I don't.
But you hear what I'm saying about
Yeah,
like
for sure.
this
The shit we can't
this
control what we
I'm
can.
hearing
It's so much worry for no fucking
yeah,
reason.
and it's I shouldn't have said it's just your generation because it is older people
But being
too.
in the
but
DC
for sure
area,
it is.
we're surrounded by like a plethora of people. So
Oh my
people are
God.
coming in from other places. In Dallas, because I was dating somebody who lives in the Middle East. Like we were not. It was like off and on or whatever. But like I would hear from her how people are coming to Syria, for, you know, to seek sanction in her country, and it's like. I was seeing it from a different perspective because I was like, "There's nothing I can't do anything from here. Like I can only
we can't
like
do shit,
hear."
bro.
But it's
Can't
like
do shit.
you hear some of this stuff and it's like, yeah, it is pretty fucked up.
yeah, and it does
But
remind
I understand
you that,
what you're saying. It's like I can't physically go over there and
Or
stop
even
it.
waste my energy thinking about that. Like,
Exactly.
yes,
It's
I'm
like being more
sympathetic for other
positive.
people, but it's
Yeah.
like, no, we're thinking
Yeah.
about another
it's
country.
it's a good reminder of how good we really have
For
things.
sure.
Yeah, it's
And
like
how much you
gratitude.
should cherish the opportunity and like okay, what am I supposed to do? Like waste that? Like be upset about it? No, you should take advantage of it. And you
Be
should
grateful
try
for
the
what
best
you
that you
have.
can. And like I said, do it in the mission of helping strengthening everyone around you as much as you can. That's how you change. That's how you create radical change.
And like another thing I saw online the other day was, you know, this being fit is hard, but then being obese is hard. Like you got to choose your hard.
Yeah.
And like, you know, owning a business is hard, but doing the 9 to 5 driving every day, that's super hard. But you got to choose your hard, dude. Addiction is hard. Like staying up with addiction is super hard, but being sober is hard. So it's like we all have to kind of choose what side you're gonna be on. And like, yeah, you can do the 9 to 5 and not be excellent, but look, being in the middle is just as shitty. So like you're gonna have a hard life regardless. You might as well just try to make the best of it as you can. Have gratitude, and help other people.
Yeah. Bruce Lee said, "Don't pray for an easy life, but pray for the endurance. No, pray for the strength to endure a difficult life."
Yeah.
And that's really what we're doing here in martial arts. You know.
Do you so like one thing I pray every day is like strength, because that's what I hear my grandmothers talk about is like praying strength over grandkids. Do you believe in God, and what do you think God is?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have the capacity to know what God is. I have some crazy theories about it.
Let's hear it, bro. Boy.
I mean, I don't really.
Anything goes.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I think it's a presence beyond our capabilities through the filter of being a human being. It could be simulation theory, and our God could be some supercomputer. It could be, who knows?
Yeah.
And again, it's one of those things like, what am I supposed to do about that?
Exactly.
If this is a simulation and this is a game, the objective should be the same as if it's an organic experience, which is becoming the best, strongest player of the game and collecting as much useful things as you can along the way and making your characters as good as it can possibly be. I don't think I would play that much different, you know?
But faith is good because it teaches people morality. It teaches you how to be a moral. It doesn't matter what your religion is.
I think that after I had kids, I grew up in a very religious household, and I've always believed in God, but the execution of how our church went about things really turned me away from things. They're very judgmental people. But once I had kids, dude, and started like experiencing, I'm like, there's way too much to this for there not to be some sort of creator. And yeah, I spent a lot of time in nature, like fishing and hunting and stuff like that. And you see so many amazing things. It's too perfect.
I was talking to my dad about that. We went on a hike for like 2 hours today. He was telling me that eagles, like this is one of those things where like it's you know, a little off topic, but like eagles don't shit. They regurgitate everything. But it's like a God, like God creating stuff. It's like how does stuff. How would a bird even know to do that? Like that's like such a random topic, but it's like it's like nature just fucking happens, and you know, mountains are built and just, you know, children are born. Like there's so many beautiful things, and it's like it's just not random. Like
he recommended a book. I'm like halfway through it. It's called Dog Stars.
Oh, you're listening to Dog Stars,
dude. I'm reading.
Oh, you're reading.
And it's like. It's so easy to read because it just reminds me how fresh nature is. Like the verbiage in it.
I forget the author of that book, but he does such a good job explaining everything. That's a great book.
It's the imagery. It just makes you feel like you're in nature. And then you put the book down, you're in a four-walled room, you're like, fuck.
Dallas, that's why I live out in Germantown, bro. That's why I can't like move out to DC.
Yeah, man. What was the highlight of your week? Like, what'd you do?
Well, it's only Tuesday.
I know. Last week.
Last week,
yeah.
The highlight of my week was getting, honestly, the mats for the new space. The new mats came in from Finksburg. We're putting all these mats down, and we're building out the new space. And you know, the shipment came in. We had help from all of our students. Just seeing, you know, the space transform to from this empty concrete shell that used to be a pool, and they filled the pool in, and now the mats are all out. So I'm hoping in like 2-3 weeks we'll be in there doing business. But anytime the new shipment of mats come, dude, it's like Christmas morning for me, man.
Yeah.
A lot of work,
mats.
but
Dude,
worth it.
Those green mats you had in there, oh my god, dude.
You don't like
a lot of blood was spilled on those mats.
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Dude, a lot.
Clean up blood on the
a lot of
mats
sweat
like every
dude.
day.
Oh my god, thank god those mats are gone. But I'm so excited to come back. I'll probably come up there Easter. Hopefully you guys have an open mat Easter morning.
I told everyone you're organizing it.
Okay, then
so it's happening.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll see if I can sneak out. My kids are getting a little bit older. We're like,
just like an hour.
They know the Easter Bunny's not real and stuff like that. Now, so.
Dude, one time I went hunting on Easter. I shouldn't have been. I was like a teenager, and I literally shot a rabbit with a pellet rifle and a scope, and I got caught carrying it back into the garage. My niece was there. She's like,
you killed the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, dude. And she was like, I went
Dallas hunts leprechauns too.
Yeah, dude. My parents I had to go ask for forgiveness. So we got Joe.
Let me pop in on one. I'm a big fan of tattoos. When did you start? And my buddy actually recently just started getting so many. He's like, He's like, I'm done, and they'll call me a week later, bro, I just got another one. It's like
it's
massive. He's addicted. I can get tattoos and wait a year before my next one or 2 years. But like I know some people who don't have tattoos and the next day they just have them everywhere.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your thing? And where did you get them in different places?
No.
Around the
So my best friend Dave Watt owns Stay Humble Tattoo in Baltimore, and I'm a little biased, but I think Dave's like the best tattoo artist, if definitely in Maryland, if not like one of the top 5 on the East Coast. He's got like a 2-year waiting list. So
Damn.
I started with just like I just wanted a half sleeve and like that's it. And then what happens is when you do big like especially like Japanese style work, and Dave doesn't even really do Japanese work. I begged him to do it, and he was like, "Okay, I'll try it on you." So I'm like really the first person he's done like large scale like sleeves and chest and stuff like that on. But I got it, and then it felt like lopsided. So I finished my whole arm and my chest on this side, and then my chest and my whole arm on this side, and then my legs. I'm getting some stuff on my stomach soon. I'll eventually do my entire back.
whole body.
Once I'm like probably like 50 and I know I'm like set, I'll probably get like a neck or face tattoo because at that point like it doesn't matter.
Just a neck
My
tat.
hands.
My brother just started getting like all these tattoos.
Some of these kids now are
It's crazy.
starting like their first tattoo is like a neck tattoo or a
I
face
had friends
tattoo.
that were
I
getting-
don't think that's the best idea.
I had friends that were getting tattooed, or I don't know if I call them friends. I was an orientation leader in college, so like I brought all these kids in, and I find out like one of the kids was an orientation leader too. He comes up to me one day, he's like, "Dude, I got this sick tat." They're tattooing each other in the dorm room,
Oh yeah.
and he got a cross, and then the outline of the cross outside the cross, and the lines are like hitting each other, and I was like, "Oh, it's terrible." And then on his other arm, he gets this snake. And it looks like a snake that like probably a 4th grader would have drawn. I was dying. I was like, bro, that's...
You're a random tat guy. You got random tats.
I got some random tats. But I got some good ones. I got John Sullivan, the
Okay.
1900s
His
boxer.
leg tats are like boom, boom, boom. But
Yeah,
I
this
appreciate
one's a
it.
good
I
one.
like them.
Yeah, that is good.
But yeah, I got some funny ones on my thigh. I was a king. Like I just go places and I was like, yo, hook it up with something fun.
Actually, this is my first tattoo.
You got a lip tattoo?
Oh, you're like my sister. Hot
I got
box.
that. Yeah, that's the name of my band. I got that done. I don't even know how long ago, bro. That was
You ever heard of Scarlet Red?
no.
Okay, just one.
What's that?
My cousin, my whole mom's side is musicians.
Oh,
and,
okay.
and fun fact, Johnny Cash married into our family.
Are they like country music?
No, jazz.
Dallas
No,
Music.
but Scarlet Red's like a hard rock, like heavy metal rock. My cousin's band, but they don't play anymore. But let's shift gears here to fighting.
Okay.
Now, fighting, because we've been talking about a lot of stuff. You got a kid named Sam Hoke, right?
Sam.
Dude, I love training with that kid.
Kid's a
Every
beast,
time,
dude.
every time I come, he like makes me work hard,
Yeah.
and like he's a problem, bro. What is going on with him? Like, what's going on with your team up there?
Yeah, there's a lot of young talent, and Sam is very good, dude, and he's very humble. I just love working with Sam. For him, it's whatever he wants to do with it. He's a very, very smart kid, so I don't see it's up to him. I don't want to speak for him, but he's very, very smart. So he probably will have like a career doing something like using his his intelligence and stuff like that. But as far as talent goes, man, he's only 17, maybe 18, and he's just at the gym all the time doing Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, MMA class, competing. He's competing a lot of Jiu-Jitsu now. I like guys for a while to just focus on Jiu-Jitsu competition, no-gi, Muay Thai smokers, exhibition Muay Thai and boxing, just to get the ring experience. And kind of get the nerves out before they go straight into MMA. Because that's what I did, and I think it hurt my development a little bit. I didn't have time to like really specialize and get better striking and wrestling and whatnot. Just kind of going in there using jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
which with the evolution of MMA today, you could get away with that 10, 15 years ago. But going in there with just pure jiu-jitsu and not solid striking and experience. But Sam's doing great. Charlie is showing a lot of potential. He's healing up. Jake, his last fight, just mistake, didn't have the outcome that we wanted, but I think when he starts fighting at 145, he'll have great success. And then Romanov's fighting May 1st. in his debut PFL for the heavyweight championship. We're real excited about that. We've been working with Alan Belcher. We're working with Pat Downey this week. Coach Kirk Lurie and Marat, his striking coaches that we brought on like 2 fights ago. They are making so much progress with his striking, his conditioning. Luckily, they're neighbors. Like they literally are next door neighbors.
Marat or Kurt?
Kurt. So him and Roman are together every day, and it's just great seeing him already like such a high skill athlete. You guys have no idea how good this guy is. Like people look at him and just think he's good because he's big. He is so knowledgeable with wrestling and submission grappling, and especially like cage work. He's like a red belt. He's freaking good. So to see him not just be one dimensional and continue to work and evolve as an athlete, and I'm highly confident he's gonna win the PFL heavyweight championship. We can't he's got to fight Tim Johnson first, May 1st, in Orlando. So we'll be leaving for that in a couple weeks. We're not looking past him. He's very dangerous, crazy knockout power, but pretty confident Sasha's gonna get the job done round 1, and then we'll move on in the tournament, and that goes through August.
Yeah, man, he's technical, and I think I don't train with him. I'm not around him, but dude, he comes out guns a-blazing, bro. He's doing damage to people. That's all I know. Like, I would just stay away, and he's just a big dude.
He's hard to stay away from too because he's really fast for his size. He moves like he's like a light heavyweight or even like a 185er. Some of his speed is just, especially with the takedowns and foot sweeps and his grappling and stuff like that. A lot of those bigger guys, my game plan is just, out cardio them a little bit, but he's so technical, his work rate is correct, so he doesn't gas out in grappling rounds. And
what was your cage experience like?
It was all right, man.
I mean, like what was like just how many fights did you have? Like what? I don't know. I'm curious. I've never talked to you about it or anything.
Yep. So I had 2 fights. I won 1 and I lost 1.
Okay.
And then I just focused on jiu-jitsu.
Just then teaching and whatnot.
Yep. My first fight was at a promotion that's not even around anymore called, I don't even remember, Barbarian Fight Club.
Like, what's it like walking out into that first time? You're gonna they close the cage.
Oh, it's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas can maybe weigh in because he's experienced that a little bit more recently than me. But I still remember, dude. Both times, it was like, man. There ain't nothing like it, dude. There ain't nothing like it.
But like, getting in the cage, like you gotta take it serious. You gotta take it serious as possible.
But you still want to let that adrenaline run. Like,
but you have to have the mindset to control that energy, bro. Yeah. Like, because like when I get in there, I just like let my brain just shut down a little bit, and then it's go time. And like working with Mike on mindset and Mike Stewart, your brother too has great mindset. John Gilbert and then Mindset Mike, obviously. Coach Nima and Liam, Coach Gustavo. Like, all these coaches are preaching mindset, like how we focus. And I'm not going to spill all the beans right now, but, like, it's an art in itself. It's a fight before the fight. Like, I really think, cutting weight's a fight? Dude, not getting nervous is a fight. Yeah. And
well, everyone's going to get nervous. Anyone that says that they aren't is a sociopath.
Yeah.
But knowing how to channel it in the right way so that you have a good performance.
When I was 27, 26, I was like, dude, I want to get into a cage. I want blood to be everywhere. I want my friends to be there. I want people to I was like, I want to fuck someone up, but I want to get a little fucked up. But it's like you take enough concussions and it's like, not worth it anymore. For me, it's like, I don't see what I would get out of it other than like it would be fun, it'd be a great experience, but like you had your 1-1 and it was like that was enough to be like I there's other things out there for me.
Yeah. I wish I would have done more. Yeah. I did. I had right after my second fight too, my daughter was born.
Okay.
That's so good.
So that had to take priority. I was at a crossroads where it's either invest, because it's such a dangerous sport. You really have to go all in. I think
your brain, you gotta.
You really gotta be ready. And I was faced with the choice of focusing on my family, my daughter, my business that I already have like a lot of time invested into, or being an athlete. And I don't regret it, man. Because being a school owner and being a dad, for me, and I'm not not telling anyone how to live, but just for me personally, it's more fulfilling than being an athlete could ever be. And for other people, I just recommend if anyone's going to get into it, like do it young when you're going to heal, and your body can take it a little bit more. Because man, I have guys that like still are my age, some older, that have to fight. They have to fight to pay the bills because they never. And I caution all of our athletes. I'm like, get good at teaching too. Yeah. Like, get good at teaching. That's like, I'm real big on this with like Jake and Charlie, because they can teach until they're way past their athlete years, and that will always be a source of stability for them.
For sure.
And I see a lot of there's a bit of sacrifice with that. You have to invest time into your students, but then ultimately you're creating other great training partners that helps you along the way. But yeah, for me it was a pretty simple choice. My daughter and my school that I've already have like students, and I'm already doing good with that. And I had to be real with myself. I am not a great natural athlete, and it does not come very naturally to me, and I have to work really hard still every day to get better at jiu-jitsu. But business and mentorship and leadership and stuff like that does come very naturally to me, and I like it just as much.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really feel like much of a job. Our coaching calls and stuff like that, I really enjoy doing it, and I enjoy seeing the years of struggle that I had to go through kind of distilled down to a better system, and kind of letting other people use it and see it, and if it'll work, experimenting with that. So that's just what I wanted, man.
No, that's cool, because I felt it, like, and even I feel like sometimes the women in our lives kind of dictate whether we're going to be getting into that cage or not, and I felt that. So I was going to ask, like, how does your wife feel about it? Did she want you ever in that cage? Like, my mom and sister, like, we don't want you in there.
Yeah.
A lot of times I was like, if I did this, how could I hide? How could I hide from like a girl I'm dating? And it's like they're not gonna they don't want to see you bleed.
Dude, my wife.
But then you date a girl that wants to see you bleed, and you're like, that's not the girl I should be dating because she's into some crazy
girls
shit.
Find that
I think
there's some girls that find. Dallas, I dated one girl that found MMA.
I know some do, but I don't think all the best think it's.
I'm not saying all the best, but I'm saying that there are different people that sometimes are good for us, and sometimes they like us because they think we're like brutes, and it's attractive.
Yeah, I think you're just looking on the surface what it is. I think that from an evolutionary standpoint, women want a man that can protect them, that's going to protect their children in the future. I mean, that's what our species did for hundreds of thousands of years, up until relatively recently, where modernity has kept us safe from the elements and from predators and from warring tribes and stuff like that. So I think from, an evolutionary standpoint, that most women, want to be with a man that's strong, that has confidence, that believes in himself, and that.
But they don't want to see us getting concussions in a cage.
Yeah, dude. Luckily, my wife.
You get your ass beat in a cage. Now you look like the opposite guy. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's how it feels.
You're still the man in the arena. You're still the person who got in there and did it. But sometimes you take a head bonk and you're like.
You just got your ass. You just got.
No one that really loves you or cares about you wants to see you get hurt or injured. And yeah, she even has that concern for me now as I get older, and I still train every day, like making sure I'm taking care of myself. But dude, I got to tell you, man, my wife has been such an incredible supporter of everything I've always done from day one. The reason, I'm telling you, man, the reason that I pursued her is because, like I said early on, man, I told people I'm opening this school. People are like, kind of, I don't know about that. And I hadn't seen her in a while, and I saw her out.
Yeah.
And she was looking good.
Yeah.
So I went up to her, and I was like, I'm gonna give this another shot. And just, how are you? What are you up to? And I told her, I started my own martial arts school a couple months ago, and it's going good. And she was like, wow. She was like, that's really cool. She's like, that's really ambitious of you. Like, I'm really proud of you. Like, one of the only people, and I hadn't seen her in years.
Yeah.
She was one of the only people to be like proud of me.
Did you think she was gonna be like still kind of like push offish?
Maybe, because when she met me, I was like,
you're a different person.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like when we first, I had known her for a while. When I first met her, I definitely fumbled it, and I was a goofball, and she like wasn't having it. She's real put together. She's like, I'm not dealing with you. But then, you know, I really like, and then when we started talking again, it definitely took some convincing. But man, she's always supported me competing, traveling for coaching. You know, she really understands the sacrifices, and like, dude, I had to sacrifice a lot of time with my young family in the beginning. I do regret that a bit, but I kind of had to do it to get to where we are now, to have the freedom that we and the opportunities that we have now. But yeah, like, if you are going to be in this, it requires quite a bit of commitment and sacrifice, and you have to have a supportive, significant other.
And we've had the choke dealer, Mike Stewart. Dude, if you guys haven't followed him on Instagram, you probably should. And you should probably go to his gym and go to his class, because I'm just not an example, but there's plenty of athletes around here that have used Mike as a mentor, as a coach. And you know, like Joe said it early on, like, this isn't a family, right? We're not doing this isn't a family. No, we're a team, right? And it's kind of like business, like, it's a team mentality, you know? So we're keeping each other honest, you know? And I think you guys can really benefit from not only Mike, but like the people that are around Mike too. The coaches like Naki, Steven Miller, your brother Jordan, dude, like
Mike Johnson,
Yes.
Tony Waldecker, Kyle Spendiff, even the brown belts coming up, Rob Lazuka, Alfred Riley, Todd Johnson. Did I mention Todd?
The one thing that you guys do in general that like other people aren't going to get from other mentors or their fathers or whatever is you keep it real. And there's been plenty of times where I've talked to you.
I don't know, man. I definitely get that from my dad. He keeps it real.
Yeah, like some, well, not everyone's
That's where I
dad.
get it from.
Not everyone's dad has that.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying, and like sometimes I catch my dad slipping on some bullshit, and you know, everyone does, but keeping it real, like, you'll ask, like, do I have the permission to keep it real with you? And that like makes it feel like, all right, like, honesty is about to come, and that's how we're trying to be as genuine as possible, not only on the mats but like off the mat. So I appreciate you for that, being genuine. Joe, anything else, bro?
No, it's. I mean, I think we're having a lot more growth and a lot more success because we have you as someone to look up to, someone that, like, I mean, it's. I hear stuff from Dallas every day. It's like, Mike's helping out with this, Mike's teaching me, and it's like, that's something that a lot of people don't have. A lot of people look for mentors and don't find them, and a lot of people find bad mentors.
Yeah, well, that's credit to you guys too, because I get asked to help a lot of people, and I won't do it because there has to be certain criteria that you're like already actively like at least trying to fix in your own life before. Because like I said, I got 2 kids, I got about to be 3
Other
schools,
stuff
2
going on,
affiliates,
yeah.
athletes. I have people that are listening to me, and that do value my time, and that don't waste my time, and that will actually take action on these things that I say, and actually show up when I tell them, meet deadlines when I tell them, keep it real with me. I just don't want a bunch of yes man around me either.
For sure.
You know, that's why I love Naki and like Mike Johnson and stuff like that. They're kind of like, you know, senior to me a couple years, and you really need that. But now I'm not gonna just waste my time with anyone. You guys deserve it.
Yeah, dude. And like, trust me, like, you know, me and Liam, dude, we love pushing back because we gotta find the truth, man. We gotta find the truth, and that's like what jiu-jitsu's about for me. But we got Jungle Joe Walsh, we got the choke dealer Mike Stewart, and I'm Dallas. We'll see you next time at Rising Tide Moco recap. Later.
Always listen.